Welcome back to another episode of the Know Your Power podcast. I am your host, Kendall Aaliyah.
And I'm Julia Renee.
And I just completely forgot what our intro was.
I forgot how to word.
I have been like on and off with caffeine. And for some reason, I choose Wednesdays to not have it.
I've been on with it.
I just random days I'll have it. And yeah, Wednesday mornings for some reason, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to be chill today. And then I come on the podcast and I'm like half awake. So
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Eventually you'll wake up. But today is a episode of Gym Girl Chats.
Woo.
So you guys really liked the episodes. I put like a poll up. We were also encouraging you guys to like give us feedback and stuff, and you guys really liked it. So
I loved filming it.
It was so fun.
And then for those who don't know, I edit the episodes. So I was watching it back just like laughing, and I was like, that's a good sign that I'm like enjoying this.
It's kind of like what we talked about last week where you watch your own stuff and you're just like, I'm really funny.
Yeah. Well, it was just like you kept laughing at things, and your laugh is one of those laughs that makes me laugh. So then it was just like a cycle of us laughing and then me laughing at us laughing, and then But hopefully you guys liked it. I feel like I got the most comments out of episodes we've done in a minute. I love looking at the comments.
Me too.
Like the day we post. After that, I'm scared.
Yes,
I'm like, what if there's negativity?
Because that's actually like a rule that I kind of follow is that, okay, you answer comments the day of, but then after that, you never look at them again because there's a potential for it to go like viral, especially like TikTok. It's like more common, and some of my reels that just go off and people then start like nitpicking, I don't know, like the way my left toe looks or like my earlobes, you know what I mean?
I get it.
And then I'm like, I don't really need that. But the OGs are the ones that comment that first day.
Yeah.
And I love the people that are like, literally waited for this like an hour. And what's super cool, I don't know how, like what days you film your YouTube or you post them, but Monday you guys get a podcast episode. Monday also I post on YouTube. Tuesdays, there's nothing. Wednesdays is another podcast episode. Thursdays, I'm posting on YouTube. So it's like
trying to make my YouTube day Friday, so then they can just
Tuesdays
get us every day.
I know. I'm like, and there was someone that commented, it's like, literally just finished watching Kendall's and now going to watch Julia's.
That's
and
awesome.
I was like, yeah.
That's so nice. I was going to say something. Why can't I remember it? What were you saying before that?
Trolls? I was talking about trolls.
Oh, I
Trolls.
remember. Hold on.
Yeah, trolls on social media.
I have had recently an influx of DMs where girls will either send me like voice memos or like really personal things they relate to with me. And I swear the people that listen to this podcast are like versions of us. Like
100%.
Everything they say, I'm like, why are you me? This one girl, you know who you are if you're listening to this. And I was cracked out on caffeine, so I felt so bad because I sent her like 20 voice messages.
She double texted.
She was explaining like her current like situation being in college, feeling like she didn't really want to be there anymore, knowing she wanted to do something in the fitness industry. And I was like, why are you me? And then she would say other things. And I'm like, I swear it's like weird. We're all like versions of each other, but I think it's cool. And I also think it's cool that like we can relate on deeper levels. And I've had a few people reach out from like the last Gym Girl chat about like coming off of birth control and their experience and like different things that they were diagnosed with that I might have, not to like self-diagnose or anything, but just like, hey, I felt like this. Hey, I've been there. Like, it's just cool. It's just like a little community.
It is really awesome. And you're so right because I was thinking about this the other day and we're so complete opposite that when people listen to our podcast, it's like the calmer, like chiller, go with the flow girl. And then it's like the loud Italian cracked out squirrel girl. And I feel like you could be either one of us. Like all the people that I meet that follow like my YouTube or my Instagram or listen to me from the podcast, they're a lot like me. Like they're loud and they're like so out there. And I'm like, did we just become best friends?
I get the girls that come up to me that are like, hi. I wasn't going to say anything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you know who I am.
You're like,
and we're both just like these anxious, like shy
I'm like,
people.
What's up, girl? I'm like, come here, give me a hug.
That's so funny. We attract our own people.
Also, realizing that our dogs are so much like us.
Oh, yeah.
I know that was kind of like a skirt right turn, but like my dog vision is just me to a T. And then like my sister's dog is her. She sent me this her dog is Ginger, and it's a golden doodle.
The cutest little
and
baby.
she's still like really little, and she sends a video of this dog like squishing her way to try and cuddle with her. It's like a 3-minute long video of her trying different ways to cuddle with her. And my little sister is like that kind of personality that she loves to be like loved and cuddled, and like that's how she was when she was a kid. And then there's mine on the other hand, that like you look at him wrong and he posts up and he literally goes
It's so funny because Rex is so much like me. For those who don't know, I have like a little Frenchie.
That's what made me think of it, is the video you sent me the other day of him in the corner mad because he wasn't getting played with, but he wouldn't say that he was mad.
Yeah, he just... All right, so my boyfriend's parents came to stay, and they have 2 like full size, not little ones like Chloe's, doodles. Yeah. And then we also have a doodle, and then we have Rex, who is the Frenchie. So there are 3 doodles in this house, and poor little Rex, and I took a video and sent it to Julia because it was like the 3 doodles like in the action playing, all the humans were around them, and then Rex was in like the furthest corner of the living room in his bed just like staring at me like, please get these people out of my home, and also where is my attention? And that is just so me.
Okay, so one thing that I want to do, that I want to start doing, is I want to start posting things on our story that have to do with what we're talking about. Okay. If you're comfortable with doing that, because okay,
sure.
One of my favorite podcasts, I'm just making a note of it because that's my personality. One of my favorite podcasts to listen to is the Office Ladies, and they deep dive each Office episode. It's literally Angela and Pam, they're best friends in real life, and they deep dive the episodes. And one thing that they do is after each Instagram podcast post. So say they post the podcast on Monday, they'll post stories that have to do with what they're talking about. So like posting the video of Rex like being a turd and like in the corner, you know what I mean? So and I love watching that because I love going back and being like, oh, that's the link they were talking about, or that's the, so I really want to try doing that.
So that also means when you're hearing this, go check the Instagram.
Yeah, it'll be there. It'll be there. We'll make sure Chloe
That's such a good idea.
Yeah, but anyways, I wanted to talk about Botox, and this is what I wanted to talk about it. I have beef with Botox. They need to, I'm going to clap while I do it.
Okay.
They need to make a Botox that is good for gym girls, because literally I went to go get my Botox, and my lady is amazing. And normal people that don't work out on a regular basis can keep Botox in their face for like, I don't know, like 6 months. Me, I'm on month 3 and my eyebrows are sagging into my eyeballs. And she, like, I went in there and I was like so excited to do it. And she was like, oh yeah, like yours is completely gone. And I was like, how can you tell? She's like, I mean, because like all your
I go to who you go to now, and she is very honest.
She is very honest. She goes, oh yeah, it's gone. And I was like, what? And she goes, yeah, I could see all your expressions again. And I was like, oh crap, it's because like I'm still doing cardio and I'm working out, and it metabolizes faster. So I'm like, we need to get a gym girly Botox that's like, it's like grunt proof. It's like scrunch proof.
Yeah.
And like, no matter how much cardio you do, it still lasts longer. She did, however, she tried a different kind, because I was traditionally using the Botox brand, and she tried
Dysport.
That's the one that she did. She tries that this time, so I'm going to see if it works.
But okay,
better.
A few things for those who like don't do Botox or maybe are thinking about it. And I'm not a professional by any means, but I did a lot of research because like I just wanted to understand the difference, because I've gotten both without them kind of like explaining it to me.
See, this is the difference between you and me. I'm like, I want it. I get it. I like it. I got it. You're like, I want it.
All the warning signs.
Let me research for a year and a half and let me see if
literally. But Dysport starts like working, and I don't know if that's how you say it.
It starts working in a week.
It starts working a lot faster.
Next day.
Yeah, it starts working faster, and then in my experience, it's not as strong, but like in a good way. Yeah. Because I don't like feeling like my face looks like I'm frozen in ice. I feel like having that like no wrinkle look with like very slight movement, I feel like that gives me that. And like, granted, I usually just get it in my jaw. because I don't really like get active Botox anywhere else, but I've tried it in other places. And I feel like I like how dye sport like fades from your face better than Botox just kind of being like one day you just like can move.
It was like, I mean, last episode we were talking about pretty face days and ugly face days.
And you looked beautiful in that episode. I was watching it back like while editing and
Honestly,
I was like, what is she saying?
I also did look at myself and I was like, she's fine. I did look. I looked at myself, I was like, your makeup was on.
One of the first comments was like, they called you Julian.
It's fine. It's fine.
But it's okay. I think it's autocorrect. They were like, Julia's makeup is so good. And I was like, that's what I was trying to tell her.
I've been slaying my makeup lately. And also I have this leaky eye situation to where only my left eye leaks. And it's only Wednesday mornings before the pod. I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's something that like I'm putting out there into the universe.
Get Botox in your eyeball.
Yeah, so that's my beef with Botox.
On that note, I'm going to the same woman tomorrow for lip filler, and I haven't gotten lip filler in like a year.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And I overline them for the podcast, but like when I have no makeup on, boy, are they tiny again. And I am so excited.
You know, it's crazy because they like almost like start shriveling up.
Literally?
Like whenever you have no makeup on is when you really realize that your lips are disappearing because it's like... My mom, God bless her, she's so sweet, but so honest. Yes.
And I call her up, this was like a few weeks ago, and she goes... And like end of call, she goes, and you're probably going to hate me for this. And I was like, here we go. But I was in a good mood. So I was like, lay it on me. She goes, I think it's time for more lip filler.
Oh my goodness. So
and I was like, I know if my mom's saying it, they're definitely gone.
A mom thing or if it's like our mom thing. Guys, let us know down like in the comments on YouTube or DM us. But moms, they just like drive right to the heart with what they need to tell you. Mm-hmm. Like, and I notice that sometimes I do this too. And I'm becoming more my mother every single day. Mom, if you're listening, like we're literally turning into each other. So when I was young, my mom is still a hairstylist, makeup artist. So like, of course I would end up the way that I was. And she would like just come up to me and like, fix my hair or like
my mom would try and I'd whack her.
Yeah. She would just like always do that stuff. Yeah. And now I find myself she'd be like, you need to tweeze your eyebrows like that. And now I'm doing it to Zach. Like I go up to him and I like touch him. I give him a kiss and then I go to his eyebrows. I'm like, your eyebrows are unruly.
I do it
like,
to a degree.
Let me at him.
Because like my boyfriend's hair got very long. And I was like, hey, made you a haircut appointment for Tuesday.
Yours is like, so maybe mine is like, get over here.
Time. I try to do it nicely because it does like make me a little sad when someone's like, hey, it's time to do this, or like,
But they really do just kind of like tell you what needs to happen.
I think she says it out of like, she knows how confident I am when I have those things done. And she watched that change. Like my mom gets no filler, no Botox. Like there's most days where she doesn't wear makeup at all. So like, it's not even her personality. I think she sees it in my personality and is like, maybe. I'm like, Mom, I look at myself in the mirror every day. I know that they're gone. I know.
You're like, I know it's time.
Yeah. I was like, I also just don't have the time and like funds to randomly throw at Botox every month. Okay.
I only did Botox when I went a couple weeks ago. And usually I do Botox on my, forehead. I do it in my armpits because I got hyperhidrosis. Yes, I do. And it is a thing. My brother,
no one's attacking you.
My brother probably has it too. My sister, we're just a sweaty family. And then I also do like lips. And this is like every 4 months I would do this. And I was like, okay, today I'm not doing lips and I'm not doing my armpits. I'm just doing my forehead.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, good. Because I don't know if we can fit anymore in your lips at this point. And I was like, okay.
See, last time I was there for Botox, last thing on this topic, I don't want to harp on Botox for an hour. Last time I was there and she was just doing my jaw. First off, it was my first time only ever getting just like 5 units. And I was like, $90? I was like, I've never spent less than like multiple hundreds of dollars here. That's crazy.
True.
But also I was like, oh, and I want to make an appointment for lip filler. And she goes, yeah, like they're pretty uneven. And I was like, got it. Wasn't asking, but thank you so much.
I already know. Okay. Yeah, they're pretty uneven. You're like, okay.
Okay. You could have been like, oh, really?
I'll just go in a hole and die.
Anyway, that's
Shout
on
out to
that.
Heather the Injector,
Oh,
guys.
she's great.
She's amazing. I actually I'm obsessed with her, and she's so stunning too. Every time I walk in,
She
I'm
has
like,
a daughter my age. And I said, excuse me,
you're
how?
like, bitch, where?
I was like, I thought you were my age.
No,
It was crazy.
She's so like, she has green eyes, and of course, like Botox face, not like overly done,
No,
but
she
just
looks naturally
She looks so
stunning.
natural and
Yeah.
beautiful, and yeah, she's just
I feel like that's a good sign. Like if they
Yes.
look good, odds are they know what they're doing.
very true, very true. One other thing that I wanted to talk about is the Stanley Cup pandemic.
Yes.
No, not pandemic. Sorry, pandy wandy. No, can we say pandemic anymore?
I don't know.
Is it too soon? 4 years later? No.
The Stanley Cup
Epidemic
apocalypse.
and apocalypse. So Kendall and I will also post this to the story, but I found this like TikTok of a Stanley Cup surviving a fire. Like literally this girl's car.
And this has gone like crazy viral. So I'm
Yes.
sure most people have seen it now, but I can also try to put it on the screen like during the actual podcast.
Yeah,
So
we can do
if
that.
you're not on YouTube, go over to YouTube or go over to the Instagram to see it.
Yes, because what is going on?
I
It literally, like, she has the video and she goes into the car. The car is like ash and crust, and the Stanley Cup's in the cup holder,
Doing
and it's
just
like,
fine.
we survived.
I was watching SNL over the weekend, and Dakota Johnson, is that her name? From 50 Shades of Grey. It's so random, but that's what I know her from. She was the host, and they did a full like
Did they do a
fake
Stanley
commercial
Cup
on
thing?
Stanley Cup, and it was so funny because they went through that. So like I feel like the big three right now about like the negatives of, or I guess just like viralness of Stanley, or like I guess people are finding bacteria like under the straw because they don't clean it enough.
Their fault.
Number 2 is that there's lead in them that's been like tested. And number 3 is that they survive fires. So they kept harping on those. And it was actually so well done and so funny. And every time it would show Dakota, her Stanley was bigger until it was like the size of her by the end of it. It was just so funny and so well done because it really is insane. The video I saw that I was like, okay, this is crazy. And I can't even try to relate it to something that we were obsessed with as kids. Like, I don't know about you, but I saw this video of this little girl had to be 10 years old on Christmas. And I think it was like her brother or her uncle or someone was giving her a gift. She opens it. It's like a Yeti cup. Throws it, so upset, like doesn't even want it, starts to storm off. And they were like, haha, just kidding. Here's your real gift. And it's a Stanley. And she's like, and I was like, what?
What is
First off,
that?
if I got a cup as a 10-year-old for Christmas, I'd be like, okay.
I mean, even Yetis. Do you know how expensive Yeti cups
So
are?
nice. Yeah.
And they're the OG.
But it's not
cup.
a Stanley. I just don't, like, I can't remember anything when we were in middle school that was like that.
Okay.
Like that.
Well, because I mean, I was playing with Littlest Pet Shops, and
Yeah,
My
I had
Little
like
Ponies.
Polly Pocket.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I wasn't
not a
I
Stanley
didn't.
cup.
I wasn't dying.
I would rather have like a sippy cup at that age.
Just imagine that your Christmas list is a cup.
like Stanley Cup, Drunk
You-
Elephant,
you wanna-
Retinol. It's like you're 12.
Yeah, I mean, even like this is another topic, but like the epidemic of the kids like swarming Sephora's. This is like when we're talking about this is probably a little bit old, but because of like Drunk Elephant, and there's this thing that you can do. It's called like a skincare smoothie, and there's a and I even have it. I have it, and it's like a circle, and it has like that squeezy tube
Yeah.
where it comes out in like a flower.
Cute packaging.
Yeah, and they'll literally make a smoothie on top of it. So they'll squeeze some of that out and then put a bunch of like other products on
Yeah.
it, mix it together and put it on your face. Also, that's not how skincare works because you have to put it on one layer at a time,
Yeah.
and you have to let each one dry.
I
or
don't
you're
think
just
I even
mixing it all
washed my
together.
face until I was like 15.
Yeah, I mean, like, what is going on? So
It's
they're-
just crazy.
The kids are going to Sephora, and they're literally like doing those smoothies on the Sephora's, and they're like destroying.
That sounds kind of gross.
Yeah, and they're like 12.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, it is really crazy.
I mean-
just such a different time. I can't imagine like
So
being
different.
born and social media is a thing. Like,
Yeah.
thankfully, we were kind of at an age where like we already were. Were you in high school? when like Instagram was created.
Yeah.
I feel like around that
Probably.
age, right? So like we went our whole childhood without it and without being on our phones, and like there was no TikTok and we weren't like watching people. I think YouTube was there, but it wasn't what it is now and it wasn't as influential. So it's just like I really can't imagine any of that. But I feel like the Stanley is like the epitome of like trend, I guess, that like people feel like they need to follow or be a part of. Like it's just crazy.
It is crazy. And now I feel like I can't ever buy a Stanley cup
I don't think I
because
ever would.
of how much we've
Also
talked
the
shit about
hydro
it.
jug one that you got me for my
It's
birthday,
amazing and it
I
works
use
so well.
all day, every day, and I'm
love it.
actually drinking water.
Yay!
And I was like, nice.
I love it. And it is just crazy because like with the kids, like go into your mom's cabinet and steal her products like the rest of us, you know?
Like why do you
know
need
what I mean?
your own?
Like
the retinol
what I
is
used
what's
to do.
crazy. I'm seeing little girls using retinol.
That's crazy.
I won't even use retinol yet.
And I also just found out that retinol isn't it for anti-aging?
Yeah.
I thought it was acne.
No, I think
I
it's
thought
for
it was for
anti-aging, and
acne.
it's also really strong. So like I don't think I'll ever use it just because I have sensitive skin. But like I'm pretty sure it's recommended for like if you're in your late 20s and like starting to get wrinkles. Before then, it's like kind of what's the point, you know?
I'm about to turn 27 though. Yeah,
Your skin's doing just fine.
I'm about to turn 27. It's about, my life's almost over. Don't say that. Don't manifest that.
Yeah, don't manifest that.
Okay, but another thing that I wanted to talk about was, so I did a little deep dive. I did a little deep diving. Okay. So I was starting to see on Instagram a lot of the Alphalete athletes leaving Alphalete, like making posts like I'm leaving Alphalete and like maybe I'm going to this company or whatever. And I was like, okay, what is going on?
I saw something with that where I guess, who was it? Someone I follow is still technically an athlete, but like, you can't use their code anymore. Like if you're not only with Alphalete, I don't think they give you a code anymore. Well, you know what I'm talking about?
That makes sense.
I guess,
to be exclusive.
I think that's like new though.
Yeah. Because like,
so maybe that's deferring some people from signing with them.
And also last night, I woke up this morning and I had a dream about Buff Bunny and Christian Guzman. And I was like, maybe I'm getting too invested in this podcast. Because now I'm dreaming about Christian Guzman and Buff Bunny.
Funny.
It was so weird. It was like they were in my house and they were pretending I wasn't there. And they were pretending that my house was their house. And they were just like living their life. And I was like,
so random.
Hello. It was weird. But
I had weird dreams last night too.
Anyways,
but I won't get into that.
It was strange. But okay, so I might I went into Christian Guzman's YouTube where he's like doing more vlogs and talking more about business and stuff. And I love him more than I have ever loved him before now, because he's like just going back to like just being a real like person and human. You could really connect with him and people are loving it. And one of the things that he was saying is that he might be looking for like a new CEO of Alphalete, because I think that one of the things he was talking about was just like he overworks himself like crazy.
Yeah, I feel like once you're at a certain size of being a CEO, I feel like you can still own the business or still run the part of the business you love running without overlooking absolutely everything or like micromanaging other people. So I do think that's like pretty common once you're at a certain size to start like delegating jobs to new people.
Yeah, and especially like think about like not being able to really go to your own gym that you have created without like being bombarded with not that he feels like it's an annoyance, but he's so huge and he has such an influencer
if I was in his
brand.
shoes,
Yeah, he can't go there just to work out. Like everyone wants to probably say hi to him, but also there's probably like people that want answers for him for business stuff because they work upstairs.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining that like that's really difficult. And he was talking about like how when he went to Alaska and they were there for a while, he was like able to finally like realize what relaxing was and just kind of reprioritize like this feeling that he wants to keep, like that feeling. And it was really cool to see him like have that realization on this video. And it's like, yeah, bro, if you keep going at this rate, you're going to crash. Like nobody wants you to do that.
He's been doing this for so long too.
Yeah.
I don't know what year Alphalete started, but I know he's been on YouTube for what, like 10 years at this point, I feel like, or at least like definitely over 5 years, which is like that much time dedicated to this one thing and building this one brand and his own brand and his gym. And like, it's just, I can't imagine the workload he has. So I root for it. I'm all for like step back for your mental and physical health.
Yeah. It's like he's having this whole new like identity where he's starting to like wake up and realize like I can't continue to do the things that I've been doing for my own mental health. And it's really cool to watch him like realize that and move into this like new state of like being a CEO, but in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
And I was like watching it. I was like, you go, bro.
That's sick.
And then
especially
he was like,
he's a married man now.
I know.
Priorities change sometimes.
We need some Guman. We need some Guzman babies.
Imagine how cute their babies would be. I'm sure they get harped with those comments already, so I won't add
we're not
fuel,
going to add to it.
But how cute would those babies be?
That's like what always happens is like I don't know, what college you going to? After college, like, who you going to marry? After you marry, when you going to have kids?
Though we did call the C-bum baby.
We did call C-bum baby, guys.
Maybe we're calling C-goose baby.
C-goose baby? That kind of sounds weird.
Yeah.
Goose baby.
Goose baby.
But yeah, so he was talking about like the Alphalete athletes, and basically they had about 120 athletes and they cut them down to about 40.
Oh, wow.
So what I think that they were doing was they had some that were athletes that were really exclusive, and they also had some that like had a code, but they were not exclusive. And I think that's probably what you were talking about.
Yeah.
And he wanted, this is what I've got from it. And you guys let me know like what you think if you watch that video. But he ended up growing it to be so much that it almost kind of like muddied who was an Alphalete athlete. Like, think back to the time where like the era of Jazzy Fit was like the Alphalete athlete. You could name each Alphalete athlete.
Yeah, it was like a core
you,
group.
Yeah, like you knew who they were. Same thing with like Gymshark. Like you knew who was Gymshark.
Yeah.
And I feel like he grew it to a point where it's like you didn't really know who was with Alphalete or who wasn't. So he wanted to kind of like go back. This is what I've gathered from it. I don't know. Someone might gather something else. So now they've cut it down to those like 40, and they might potentially sign Nick Walker.
That would be a good person for them.
And the Houston Rockets.
I feel like that is such a smart direction. And while I was leaving Iron Willed, and like I never left on ill will, I don't think I've ever even talked about it.
You never even told me.
Oh, I haven't been with them for like months.
You didn't tell me that. I had no idea.
I have no sponsors right now. I'm sponsor free.
When we get off the pod, let me tell you about something.
Okay.
I can't talk about it now, but I'll tell you about something later.
Okay. Anyway, when I was like ending my contract with them, basically my contract was up and I had to decide, just in case you care about my reasoning, I had to decide if I was going to re-sign with them or go no sponsor or look for a new one. And I know I've talked about it here and there, but I really am trying to work on my own clothing brand. And I feel like my vibe is kind of similar to their vibe, and it would just be weird and conflicting and probably confusing for like my followers and theirs that come to my page. True. So I'd rather just like have no one for right now and build my own brand and see where that takes me. And like, obviously I'm going to be wearing my own stuff because I'm making stuff I want to wear. So when that time comes, I didn't want like a weird contract to be in the way. Anyway, on my way out, they're based in Phoenix and they started signing some Phoenix Suns players.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
I think it's so smart to diversify who your athletes are. Like even thinking about my future business and my business plan, I don't want just bodybuilders. I also don't even want just athletes. Like I would love to have some like fashion people, some like models, you know, like diversifying. I feel like then you reach a larger audience because really like Alphalete, yes, it's activewear, but it's so like athleisure that anyone could wear it. Why not push it to other markets?
Yeah,
you know,
like anybody can wear Alphalete. Like really, it doesn't matter what area you fit into. So it does make sense to kind of spread your wings and go into different avenues.
That'd be sick though if he did sign any of them.
I know,
That'd be sick.
Which is crazy. So I don't know if that's like something that's final, but like that seems like one really big step into going into this new direction of him having like just another core group, like you know who Alphalete is, which I think is very smart. But I'm sure it was like upsetting for people to like, you know, be cut basically.
Oh, for sure.
But
I've been on that side of sponsorships and it's not fun. And you're like, what did I do wrong? But like sometimes it's just like the brand's moving in a new direction and you can't really like compare yourself to like why they're doing something, you know?
Yeah, that's so true. And it was just really cool to see him like actually talking about his reasoning and why, because sometimes you just sit on the other end and you don't really know, you know, and having like a motherfucking CEO just be real about what's going on was really cool.
Love that. And that was always my biggest praise to Iron Willed as well. Like they were so transparent with us as athletes, and they would do a monthly or like bi-weekly call to be like, hey, our manufacturer messed up on this thing, so we're not going to be releasing these, but we're going to send them out to you guys to start promoting.
Yeah.
Like just being honest instead of being like, oh, everything is perfect and we have everything figured out. Like, no, like tell me what you're going through or how as an athlete I can help or help promote this one thing because it's not selling well. Like, tell us.
I mean,
you know?
honesty is literally always the best.
Yeah.
Even though it's like really a difficult thing to do at first, like to build up the courage to be honest because you don't know how people are going to respond. Like, I would much rather someone be like, you're just not a good fit for us than just like lead me on and pretend.
Yeah.
Or just say like, oh yeah, like promise you something and it like really in their mind like it's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like I don't want that. Just tell me straight up so I can be hurt maybe in the time
I'll get over
and
it.
be a little salty and then I'll get over it.
I feel like we tend to trust people more when they are always like transparent
True.
with us. Like, why would you not? So I feel like having that from someone like Christian who like is talking to such a large platform of people, but still being authentic and honest, like it makes people like want to support him even more, you know?
Very true. And it's really what's selling these days. Like being real, being real and like being vulnerable and cutting the fluff because for such a long time, social media became like almost all fluff. And now we're going into this new era of like less fluff and more just humaning, which is really cool. And I think that's why people are loving him. And I love him more than I ever did.
Yeah.
I always watched his videos, but now I'm like, I actually can see him as a real person, which is really cool. But my little sister, Chloe, is in charge of like our podcast page and she makes sure everything is posted. Everything looks beautiful. So she did this thing that I wanted to go over with you.
Okay.
And it was, she posted it and it was like, what are your biggest gym icks? And then people commented the funniest things. And the first
Also,
one,
before we do that, what are your biggest gym icks?
Oh, okay. Okay. This is one that I thought about the other day. This is no shame in the game. Like everyone, like you do you in the gym. I truly like you do you. I ain't gonna tell anybody what they should do in the gym. I don't know why, but when I see people stick their necklace in their mouth and then like do a heavy bicep curl with the necklace.
I wonder why they do it.
I'm like,
the only time I've done that is when I'm doing like mountain climbers and it's hitting me in the face. And I'm like, okay, I need to control this thing.
Bam.
But I've never just done it like standing.
yeah, I see like a lot of it's mainly guys. I've seen a couple girls. I actually have seen a couple girls.
I just didn't know if there was a reason.
First of all, ew. It's like, where has your neck been? You know?
That's like, you know that there's like people that like will touch the bottom of their shoes. You will never. I will never touch the bottom of my shoe. I will never put my shoes on a counter. I will like that grosses me out. But like same effect of like so much dirt and sweat and stuff gets on that and like makeup and self tanner. Like I don't want to touch it.
Yeah, like that's so weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't understand. That's one of my icks. Is like,
I wouldn't call that an ick, but it is odd.
Okay, then what's the definition of an ick?
Well, no, it might be an ick for you.
Oh, okay.
An ick is just something that makes you like okay, if you were attracted to a man and he did this thing, you would never find him attractive after this thing.
A specific gym thing?
Well, yeah, but that's just like
gym icks.
That's like a romantic gym ick. This could just be like someone does something and you're like, ugh.
Do you think
I feel like
what's yours?
That one is a good answer though.
I noticed that like a couple weeks ago. I was like, ew.
Oh, I'm trying to think.
I was like, now your slobber is just hanging there. Oh, I was like, oh, and you put it in your mouth again.
Ooh,
oh.
The guys that will do like I feel like girls could do this too, but again, it's like I notice it with guys. Girls could do no wrong ever.
I just see girls and I'm like, you're pretty.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, she looks great. But when a guy does certain things, I'm like, ugh. Oh. But like, okay, this is just one example because I feel like I've seen it recently, but this could be applied to like many different things. When a guy is like shirtless and super sweaty and does like on the bench, like chest supported like rows.
Oh, okay.
So then his bare body with all the sweat is pressing into the bench and then he gets up and doesn't wipe it down and just walks away. gross.
I mean,
So gross.
I mean, I'm a sweaty girl. So
Same.
I definitely will leave sweat marks, but I don't leave it there.
No.
I clean it.
Yeah.
You can leave it there
you're clean.
while you're using it, but you clean it after. Yeah, that's an egg.
Or they'll like put their shirt there and think that's like a big enough barrier. And it's like your sweaty shirt is still pushing into this bench and you're still not wiping it down. I don't know. That just grosses me out. I feel like wiping things down in general. I don't know why, but like I remember in the beginning of my fitness journey, I didn't wipe things down. I just never thought of it.
I never did either.
I was like, oh, the gym is clean. They clean it. But like now if I don't wipe something down, I feel gross.
Yeah. Like
Personally.
like for real. And for me too, it's also, I'm more likely to clean it. I won't clean it like before I get on it.
Only clean it after.
Because I just assume that I'm like, they just cleaned it by me.
Yeah.
I always clean it after me because I'm like cautious about like the next person.
Yeah.
But some of the gym icks that you guys gave us were being barefoot, and they literally put the like throw up emoji.
I've seen this one far too often.
Not completely barefoot. I have seen
Socks
people.
I'm cool with.
Socks I'm cool with.
Barefoot's crazy. I used to work at a gym. That reminds me. I actually have a few icks because I used to see certain people
Like,
every day.
You trying to get tetanus?
This girl would go barefoot and then also do things like hanging from like a pull-up bar with her foot like wrapped under the other. And
Barefoot?
I'm like, now like a place where people are putting their hands, your feet are, completely barefoot.
Well, now you got feet hands.
Also, like there's so much like crap.
hand
I know what you meant. No, feet hands, I feel like was fitting.
Yeah.
There's so much crap on gym floors that it's just like, I would be scared to step in something. I've definitely like squatted in just socks.
Yes.
But that's different.
Yeah.
That is different than barefoot. Barefoot's crazy.
And I rarely will even squat in socks. It's only
if I forget my shoes.
If I forget the right shoes and I'm squatting and I'm like a little like wobbly, then like I will do barefoot. Or there was like this leg pressy thing where I was literally slipping. Like my shoes, I was slipping off of it. I was like, this is dangerous.
I've had that.
So I took my shoes off and then I did socks.
Oh my gosh, actually barefoot is crazy though.
Bro.
That's so gross.
This one literally.
Again, no offense to anyone if you do these things, but like also
you do you.
Some self-awareness is needed sometimes.
You do you. Yeah, just.
Private gym, go barefoot all day.
It's
public gym, low
general
alarming.
like courtesy for other living human beings.
Yeah.
That's kind of it, you know, just a little bit of that.
We're definitely offending someone, but it's fine.
This next one made me laugh so bad. Okay, it says a group of teenage boys in pajama pants and broccoli
Okay,
hair.
hold on, because did you answer this one? Because Chloe reposted this, and I was like, oh, that has to be Julia's answer.
No, it wasn't me. Okay.
It's so funny because you know, like you can fully picture them.
When I read it, I literally in my head I thought of first teenage boy. Then I like dressed him and was like pajama pants. And then I did broccoli hair.
No shirt also, never a shirt.
Just
pajama pants.
I've never heard anyone say broccoli hair before.
See, I thought you have, which is why I was certain that this was your answer. That's so funny.
I was dying.
They aren't an ick to me, but they do scare me. Like if I'm filming in the gym and they're nearby, I'm not filming.
You know
in the
why?
Gym.
And it's because I get scared because I go back to high school.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like traumatized. I'm like, they're gonna make fun of me.
Well, I'm like, I wanted those types of boys when I was in high school to like me so bad, and they never did. So yeah, I think it's like I
was just like, I'm
a trauma
I think
thing.
it's a trauma response. We might need to talk to our therapist about it.
But that's so funny, broccoli.
The next one is when
Sarm goblins. That's my name for those guys.
Sarm goblins. That was a funny name. This next one was when you smile at a girl and she gives you the. And she puts. Oh, that sounded really hard.
I just punched the table.
Why'd you punch it?
I was trying to fix my shorts and it slipped. Okay, I'm sorry. She gives you the what face?
It has an emoji that's the like dead face.
Here's my beef with this one. Yeah. I have social anxiety so bad. And I've definitely had girls smile at me in the gym, but I am so in my head of like, maybe she's smiling at someone else. And then I start to walk by and I'm like, now it's too late to smile back. Yeah. So like, if that's ever me, I am sorry.
She walks past you. It's been 5 minutes. And then you're like, hi.
I try to, and also I'll be like, oh, give her like a little smirk. And then my face just doesn't change.
And then you're like,
So I really think about it. And if this one is directed at me, just know like it is never intentional. And also yesterday, like just a little example, I was on leg extension and my vision gets a little weird when I work out. Like I feel like I get tunnel vision almost. Do you get that way?
Yeah.
Like I just can't look at anything right. And I also space out on everything and everyone. Like I can't just sit there because I don't go on my phone. So I kind of just go like, and just like look around a little bit.
Staring at my feet.
Exactly. So yesterday, like almost directly in front of me, there was a guy working out. So I was like, okay, well, don't look at him. Like at least be aware of that. Don't stare at him. So I would just like kind of look like around like left and right. And there's these like two guys doing like lat pull downs right there. And I just kept making eye contact with them over and over and over because I would be like, oh, don't look at that guy. Look over there. Oh gosh, there's someone over there.
And you're like, I'm just going to look at the ground until also, it's time.
My face is so serious that they probably look like I'm going to kill them. Yeah. So
Kendall has RBF.
So this one's for me.
It's a diagnosed issue.
No,
we're working on it. Me, I've made this new thing where I am just smiling at every girl I pass.
I need to do that.
I have been trying it for the past month.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
Do they smile back?
Oh, they always smile back.
You haven't encountered one of me.
I mean, honestly though, sometimes when I'm like going through life, I'm like in my own little girly world.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I don't even know if they smile back. I think they do.
See, that's how if someone like actively like smiles at me, I'll try to like do like a little head nod or like a little smirk. Never am I like, hi. Like, but that's just not my personality. I think.
Literally just have made it for me like a habit that every time you see a girl, no matter where you are, you just smile at her.
Yeah. Wow, I should start doing that.
Yeah. So, and it's been working.
I should just smile more,
because sometimes when I'm in the gym, I do get that tunnel vision where you're so focused and you're like, yeah, let's go. I'm such a muscle mommy. You're like, come on. And then I'm like, Julia, remember, you are in public and someone might see you and think that you're meansies.
People definitely think I'm meansies.
And then immediately I'll go from like my like attempting to sprout to furrow my brows, but I got Botox face to like, hi. Like it's like that because I constantly check myself.
I saw Julia at the gym the other day for the first time. We like never coincidentally work out at the same time. I also haven't been to that gym in forever. But I just like thought it was the funniest thing because I just haven't been around people I know in the gym. Said. I was like, oh, it feels like I'm seeing my teacher outside of school. When like, I would walk past her and I'm like, I feel like I should just like talk to her every time I see her. But no, she's focused. Let her focus.
Hi, how's your set? Oh, you can't hear me? Your head? Okay. I'll be over
you have the big headphones, so you kept turning them off, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, it's not important.
It was just funny.
Keep working out.
Came up to me, was like, I feel like the teacher thing, and I was like, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, because that's like, I ran up to her, I was like, hi, but like it's different. I feel like most times when I like hug someone, it's because I'm leaving the gym or they're coming in. So like then you're not working. So I was like, hi, like have a good workout, and then we're next to each other doing lateral raises.
It was like when you're saying goodbye after like a event or something and you walk the same way and you're just like,
bye again, I guess.
Either you have to walk really slow or you have to book it.
I always book it. Every time that happens to me, we went bowling with like a pretty large group the other day and like half of us were parked next to each other. So I like said, okay, bye, love you all, like drive safe. And then she just starts
sprinting. She does that run with her hands that are behind her like this.
Naruto run.
Like that.
It's so funny.
Another one was getting on a machine that is covered in sweat from the previous person. Yep. We've covered that.
Or sometimes they do wipe it down and you can't tell if it's sweat or cleaner.
See, that's the thing that sometimes like people like lather it with so much that you're like, is this sweat or is this
Either
like
way,
the cleaner?
My butt's getting wet and I'm not here for it.
Yeah, there's definitely times where I put my butt on on the cleaner stuff and I'm like, now my butt is poisoned.
Yes.
The next one is don't re-whack the we-whack.
Yeah.
Doesn't re-whack.
This one, okay, you got this.
I think I had a stroke. Re-rack.
I thought you were doing it as a joke.
Nope, that was real. Okay. No, that was real.
This one actually infuriates me. It's not like disturbed or like grossed out. This one like really annoys me, especially because again, as someone that worked at a gym, I just know how disrespectful that is to the people that work the front desk. They don't want to have to stay for an hour after they're supposed to and not get paid for re-racking your weights. Like if you are strong enough to use the weights, put them back. It's really not that hard. It drives me insane.
There's this, I think you've probably seen it. There's a sign at one of our gyms here in Austin, big text. It's like, if you're too weak to re-rack your weights or something, we'll kindly have someone else like do it
no,
for
they have,
or
we'll
it's
have
like,
one of our front desk girls do it for you.
Yeah,
kind of as like
that.
an FU, like clearly you're not strong enough to put it back. But no, that seriously bothers me, especially I feel like the new House of Gains gym that's in Austin, I feel like is attracting some like non-bodybuilders and some people that aren't obsessed with the gym, sometimes don't know all of like the gym culture etiquette type of things. And I have been seeing like there's a turf section. People just leave their dumbbells, their plates, their kettlebells like all over. And I'm like, at least like organize it. Like at least put it off to the side, but they'll have it just in the middle. It drives me insane. That's like, I will re-rack like people's weights for them if they don't, because it just bothers me and I feel bad.
Literally like on my upper body days, I'll go to a Gold's that's a little bit closer to me because it's like a shorter workout. So it's like in and out. And I was doing rows and like all like around me was just like all the equipment on the floor, you know, for the cables. I was like, every single thing is out on the floor now. And I was like, what is going on? There's like a water bottle on the floor that's empty, like a plastic one. There's like some cleaning things that are just like on the floor tissues. And I get bored during my rest periods.
You're just organizing.
So I'm over here like picking up the water bottles.
Coding.
I'm like cleaning this thing and I'm like looking, I'm like, oh, we still got 5 minutes. Okay. I'm going to go put up this thing because like I have to force myself to rest or I'll go too quickly. So I'm just like, yeah, we'll just
I realized
tidy up the place.
And tell me if you're this way and then we can go back to icks, or if you have
There's one more ick.
Do the ick and then I'll ask you.
When people ask if you're using a machine or a bench in the middle of your set.
Yeah.
Like while you're actively working out, hey, hey you.
I will say, okay, if someone, this is the only time I'll do this. If someone's like, let's just say they're doing curls in the mirror, I want the bench next to them, but like maybe their bag's in between and they're like, or maybe they're like grabbing weights. Maybe they're not.
This is, you do the gym sign language where you go point.
I point and they just shake their head.
That's it.
I would never be like, oh, excuse me. Oh, like, no, just ask with your hands or be like, okay.
It's funny how there is a lot of the gym etiquette is like sign language.
Oh, I need to tell you something.
Because we don't have we have headphones in. It's a lot of like, no.
Like that, that one, no. I'm so used to gym etiquette and just responding with my headphones on. I was at a coffee shop the other week and this guy points at a seat.
You go,
No, it's worse. He points at a seat. I think he's going, is anyone sitting here? And I go, no. And so he like makes a sad face and walks away.
Oh, he was asking to sit there.
I was like, I'm so sorry, sir. You can sit there. I thought you were asking if it's taken. Like we were at like a long table and like he was over there. And I was like, of course I'm not hoarding this giant table for myself.
I would have literally thought the same thing. I would have literally been like,
But I was like, I'm so sorry. He looked, because the place was packed and it was my table. Someone was like, it was like a table, I think that seats like 6. Someone was diagonal. You know how some people don't want to sit like right next to you or like across from you? So he was looking for the other diagonal from me. And like the whole rest of the place packed. So he just kind of like stands there and is looking around. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Go kill myself. Okay.
I felt awful. I felt so bad, but I'm so used to that. The question I was going to ask you, and then we can wrap this one up. Do you work out differently when you're filming like a YouTube video? Because I realized I don't rest. Like I simply am like on go mode because my rest will be making sure the footage was good and then I'll set it up again and then I'm not taking breaks and I'm literally dying by the end of my workout.
I definitely, when I'm filming myself, I'm more likely to take rests because I have to do the setup period.
Yeah.
But if I'm not filming and there's nothing distracting me, I'm like boink, 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 boink,
See,
boink,
I'm
boink,
the
boink,
opposite.
Boink. That's crazy.
Because like I'm good at like just kind of talking to myself in my brain. But if I'm filming a video, then all I'm focused on is like the next set and like what am I gonna say or how am I gonna like position it differently or what could I do better for the video or like something like that.
If I'm talking during the video, then I'm like bouncing around over like Ian is recording me. I'm like, I have to do this. I have to make sure that it's all, we can't rest a second.
Yeah.
But if I'm just doing like a regular non-talking video and recording, it takes longer and I'm more likely to rest.
That's so funny. I'm the opposite. And I literally don't, if you watch any of my workout YouTube videos, I'm not resting, just so you know. So that's probably why I'm lifting like lighter weights because I'm dying. I just did a dumbbell only glute workout that I need to post because I fully edited it. I just haven't posted it yet. So probably, hopefully, fingers crossed out by the time you're seeing this, saying that now to hold myself accountable. What was I saying? Oh, so this whole workout, I was using like one set of dumbbells. So I just simply did not take a break.
Yeah. You're just like,
I just did it
the next
all.
thing.
Yeah. Yep. And then I was trying to show like, oh, if you have a bench, you could do this, but here's the variation without it. So I would do those back to back because the camera's already set up.
Yeah.
And I was dying.
That's actually really accurate.
It was a good workout.
It was a good workout. My butt hurt after.
It really did.
Well, that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Yeah, that was another episode of Gym Girl Chitty Chats. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know down below. Let us know topics you want us to talk about. Anything. Let us know how your day's going. We don't care. Let us know.
For real, tell us like anything you want us to talk about in these because they're so chill that we could hit multiple topics.
True, so we can.
A good one to take recommendations for.
Well, we love you all so much, and you're more powerful than you think. Bye.